This week on RECOIL TV, we're taking a close look at the Springfield Armory KUNA, but unlike everybody else out there, we're actually doing it right. So we filed a Form 1, SBR'd this sucker, put a folding stock on it, a can, a vertical foregrip, an optic, and a light. So she's all dressed up for the ball. All right, so this gun is going to be on the cover of RECOIL issue 79. So if you'd rather read about it rather than listen to me yammer about it, then go grab yourself a copy. But in the meantime, let's go through the specs on this thing. So it's a 6-inch barreled, roller delayed 9mm carbine. And let's take a look at the features stem to stern. Up front, we've got a half 28 threaded muzzle, so you can add whatever muzzle device you want. It comes with a little brake, which brakes on 9mm effective? Maybe not. And then moving back, we have a fairly monolithic upper receiver that's hogged out of one aluminum extrusion. It has a polymer lower with a big old magwell, and that magwell is sized both for 9mm and for 40 Smith & Wesson. And if you look at the actual magwell dimensions at the back of it, there's about 4mm there, which can accommodate maybe a bigger magazine. Who knows in the future what might be coming down the pipeline. Above the magazine well, you'll see the bolt catch, and the bolt catch is both ambi and able to be locked back with the index finger on your master hand. That's a really good feature, and it's very useful for stoppage drills, which means that I don't have to move my master hand, off of the pistol grip. And that's reachable both with my index finger on the master hand, and also if you roll it over, it's reachable like an AR, so you can slap the bolt release if you insert the magazine. Likewise, the magazine release is ambi on both sides, so if you want to strip the magazine out with your left hand and catch it, then you can do that. And the levers on the safety and selector, again, ambi. I found shooting it, it's easier to take the safety off with your thumb and then put it back on with the knuckle of your index finger. You guys might be dimensioned differently, so you've got to figure that one out for yourself. The pistol grip is very AR pattern. In fact, pretty much any AR pistol grip will fit on there. So undo the bolt, add whatever flavor you want if you don't like the one that comes with the gun. Another cool feature of the KUNA is that it has both a non-reciprocating charging handle, which folds, kind of cool, and that charging handle is swappable for lefties if you want to put it over on the right-hand side and run the gun left-handed. Let's take a look at the gear that we've outfitted the KUNA with then. Out front, we've got a Dead Air Mojave 9 can, which is a low back pressure design, works really well with roller delayed guns. And then out front, we have an A3 Industries vertical foregrip and hand stop. A3 Industries also supplied this little panel on the right-hand side, the M-LOK panel that covers up the aluminum forend and just stops you burning your hand. On the left-hand side of the receiver, we have a remote switch which plugs into the tail cap of the Surefire Mini Scout Light. It gives us plenty of illumination options. And then moving further back, we have another A3 Industries component, which is their folding stock. This is adjustable, but it's not super adjustable in that you have to undo these two screws here to adjust the length of the pull. The cheek piece is also adjustable. Likewise, remove a couple of screws, remove the spacers, and adjust it to whatever height you like. You've got a little bit more adjustability as well as to where you put the stock on the Picatinny rail at the back of the receiver. And this locks up really nicely. There's virtually no play in that, no wobble, and it's very easy to fold as well. Just pull up on the stock itself, fold it to the left, and then to deploy, just a quick flip of the wrist. All right, let's take a look at what makes it tick. So we're going to break this down and show you what's inside the gun. First thing I'm going to do is press out the two takedown pins, front and rear of the lower receiver. And they're very AR style in that they are captive. And then that allows us to then swing out the lower receiver. Now, if you look in the fire control components, I'm sure that you'll see a lot of similarities here between an AR's fire control components, particularly the hammer, the disconnector, and the trigger relationship. The only difference majorly is this strut here, which is kind of like an MP5 in that it's offset to the side of the hammer, and that's what powers it to hit your primer. Everything is coated with some kind of friction reducing coating, probably nickel boron. I haven't been able to decide that. I'm not a metallurgist, but it feels pretty slick and it certainly improves the trigger pull. Okay, let's take a look at the rest of the gun. To strip the end cap off of the receiver, all I'm going to do is push in, pull up, and that just comes out straight away. And then I'm going to use my charging handle to pull out my recoil spring and buffer. And you see here, it's a nice squishy buffer there, which cushions the bolt's impact into the lower receiver. And then out comes my bolt. And then if you look at the bolt here, we have the single roller. Unlike an MP5, it has one roller rather than two. And that's what locks the bolt up into the trunnion. As the spring is compressed on this weight here, that allows that roller to disengage and the bolt to cycle. There you go, pretty simple. If I was going to maintain this in the field, then all I'm going to do is clean off the carbon on this. And as you can see from my hands, this has been shot quite a bit. And all I would do is blast that off with brake cleaner or whatever I had available to me, oil it up and then put it back together and go shoot it. Overall, it's a very well thought out design so far. I'm not seeing anything there that looks like, okay, this is a complete kludge. This looks like it was designed from the outset to be a 9mm PCC or subgun. All right, I'm going to put this back together. Let's go take it to the range, see how it shoots. This is really a low recoiling gun. In fact, one of the things that struck me when you actually track the dot in the window is that the dot actually dips in recoil. It's kind of unusual. The other thing that you notice is that the recoil impulse is very kind of sharp. It's not a big recoil impulse. It's not like shooting a 458, but it's sharp, but it's very like short duration. It's kind of a fun gun. The other thing as well is we've just burned through a couple of mags. I deliberately did not lubricate this gun. I've probably got about 1,000 rounds on it right now. The only stoppage I've ever had has been when the bolt failed to lock back on an empty magazine. That's about it in about 1,000 rounds. It happened a couple of times. It might have happened on camera right there. So that's something to be aware of. But for a gun that's never had any lubrication on it, we're hitting 100 degrees here in the desert today. It has run very, very reliably. The other thing as well, one thing I didn't mention is the magazines themselves. They are double feed, double column magazine. They're translucent plastic so you can see how many rounds you have left. And they appear to be pretty well constructed. They're also, rumor has it, going to be on sale for about 25 bucks a pop, which is very, very reasonable for a 30 round mag, for a sub gun. Obviously it's not as reasonable as a P mag, but we're getting there. Certainly SIG need to take a lesson from that. Okay, so let's go on and shoot a few more rounds. Ejection, very positive. Everything's falling roughly in the same place, just about 6-7 feet away from the gun. And this is with 124 grain ball ammo. It's S&B, like regular NATO spec ball. It runs very well, and we post up around about 2-inch groups at 50 yards. So, you know, pretty much about as much you can expect from a 9mm. And then what else? Okay, one thing I didn't mention inside was the sights on this thing. The backup sights are really kind of cool in that they have a low profile option here with a U at the rear and a small dot at the front. With this cheek riser though, they're a little bit too low to use comfortably. You can't get your eye down onto them. However, when you flip them up, then you've got a great ring sight up front with a post which is adjustable for elevation, and then the rear sight is available and adjustable for windage here via this little knob here. So all in all, backup sights are great. You don't have to spend another 60-70 bucks on a set of MBUS Pros to outfit it completely. All right, I'm going to continue shooting this. You guys are welcome to stick around if you want, but all you're going to see is rounds going down range. But if you're looking for a 9mm PCC that is very, very compact, that will fit in a briefcase or a backpack, that is capable of running suppressed, that will accept a folding stock if you SBR it, then you should definitely take a look at the new KUNA. It checks all the boxes for me. You should check it out. Don't take my word for it. Go shoot some more rounds.